New Lands, by Charles Hoyfort, Part 2, Chapter 25a. Exploding monasteries that shoot out clouds of monks into cyclonic formations with stormy nuns similarly dispossessed, or collapsing monasteries, sometimes slowly crumbling confines of the cloistered, by which we typify all things. That all developments pass through a process of walling away within shells that will break. Once upon a time there was a shell around the United States. The shell broke. Some other things were smashed. The doctrines of great distances among heavenly bodies, and of the moving earth are the strongest elements of exclusionism. The mere idea of separations by millions of miles discourages thoughts of communication with other worlds, and only to think that this earth shoots through space at a velocity of 19 miles a second puts an end to speculation upon how to leave it and how to return. But if these two conventions be features of the walling away like that of the chick within its shell, or that the United States within its boundaries, and if someday all such confinements of the embryonic break, our own prophecy, in the vague terms of all successful prophecies, is that a matured view of astronomic phenomena will be from a litter of broken demonstrations. Our expression now is upon the function of isolation in development. Specially it is not ours, because I think we learned it from the biologists. But we are applying it generally. If the general expression be accepted, we conceive that functionally have the astronomers taught that planets are millions of miles away, and that this earth moves at such terrific velocity that it is insisted with speed. Whether isolations function or not, that exclusions that break down are typical of all developments is signified by data upon all growing things, beginning with the aristocratic seeds, which, however, liberalize to intercourse with mean materials or die. All animal organisms are at first walled away. In human circumstances, conditions are the same. The development of every science has been a series of temporary exclusions, and the story of every industry tells of inventions that were resisted, but that were finally admitted. At the beginning of the 19th century, Hegel published his demonstration that there could be only 7 planets. Too late to recall his work, he learned that Ceres had been discovered. It is our expression that the mental state of Hegel partook of the general spirit of his time, and that it was necessary, or that it functioned, because early astronomers could scarcely have systematized their doctrine had they been bewildered by 700 or 800 planetary bodies, and that, besides the functions of the astronomers, according to our expressions, there was also their usefulness in breaking down the walls of the older and outlived orthodoxy. We conceive that it is well that a great deal of experience should be withheld from children, and that, anyway, in their early years, they are sexually isolated, for instance, and our idea is that our data have been held back by no outspoken conspiracy, but by an inhibition similar to that by which a great deal of biology, for instance, is not taught to children. But if we think of something of this kind, equally acceptable is it that even in the face of orthodox principles, these data have been preserved in orthodox publications, and that, in the face of supposed principles of Darwinism, as applied generally they have survived, though not in harmony with their environment.